Hello! So it has been a very long time since I've done one of these videos. I did do a recording for the previous day on my farm, but unfortunately my internet has been acting up on the computer, not the actual Wi-Fi router, but for some reason the Wi-Fi just keeps going off and I've been troubleshooting it for the last few days and I think I've got to the point where I'm probably going to take my computer in. So I'm just going to show you around my Stardew Valley farm and talk about why I deleted my Amnesia playthrough, which is very simple thing and reason why, and also just talk about a bunch of other stuff that's been happening over the last year because I stopped making YouTube videos and YouTube content for the longest time, which also contributed to me deleting the Amnesia videos. I had to move my bed in my home because the cat decided that I wasn't going to let me in. My cat in the game is called Salem. Gonna move it back. Named after the cat from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the comedy show from the 90s, not the new Netflix version, because I always kind of wanted a black talking cat, even though this one is ginger, who you'll get to see in a moment. So we have this little area here that is just filled with my mixed seeds and my mixed flower seeds. I believe these ones are the mixed flower seeds and these are just my mixed seeds up here. I've got the summer produce growing here for this. So the summer crops bundle, I've got all these growing, and I've also got, oh, if I can find it, there, not that one, I just got that from the foraging earlier today. Just unlocked the vault as well, so I've been doing some of that. Not sure what else. I think there was something else. Oh yes, there was. It's here. And the quality crops bundle. So I bought quite a few melons to get all that. And I just got those from everything. Here's my chicken coop. I've got 4 chickens. So we've got Maya here. We have Bella, Raina and Patty. And then this is a new addition to the farm that I've just done in this spring, and this is Daisy. Got a little house for if anyone wants to eventually join me in playing this game. And we also have this little area here where I'm just making stuff. Got my grass starters here for eventually, and I've also been planting a bunch of trees to stock up for the winter eventually. I've just been working on the layout of the farm. It wasn't always like this. I've just been playing around with it a little bit and getting it, and I also lost a lot of save data, so this wasn't originally how it looked. This wasn't originally here because of the way Steam works with the cloud storage and everything. I lost when the internet went off. I lost a lot of data on this, so I've just had to play through Spring Year 2 all over again, which was annoying. I just speed ran through all the stuff that I had done, but I feel like the layout of this now is so much better than it was originally. And now I'm going to explore a little bit while I just talk about everything that's happened. Since you've seen the farm, this is Year 2 in the summer, and things will hopefully begin to get a little bit more stuff happening in Stardew Valley this year. Well, for the Year 2 anyway. So I'm going to begin with why I stopped posting about Amnesia. It ties into something that happened last year where I was just very depressed. I didn't have the energy to do it, and it was the same with 2022. I had been working for most of my life at that point, and I just never knew how to stop. I went from going to university where I didn't stop working to going into the workplace for an organisation, and I never knew how to stop or to switch off. And the people at that workplace didn't help with that either, unfortunately. So when it came to doing stuff for Amnesia, I just didn't do anything. Instead, I chose to rot away watching YouTube videos for most of 2022 and 2023. And then by the time I came back to Amnesia, I realised that I didn't know what I was up to. I didn't know what I was up to with recordings. And I just worried about everything else that was going on in my life, and it just didn't feel like the time to start a YouTube channel. So I decided to delete all those videos for it. Maybe one day I'll decide to play Amnesia again for my channel, but for now I'm quite happy just doing whatever. I'm not going to pick up anything in this game because, like I said, the internet's off. I've already lost a ton of save data with it not. I won't starve my cat though. That's Salem. So yeah, I'll probably come back to Amnesia at some point, but for now I don't think it's the time to do that. And there's other games I want to play, and I've played Amnesia quite a few times since installing it and being able to play it, to the point where I'm kind of just sick of it. I know what I'm doing now, so I'd rather give it a rest for a bit. Moving on to what happened at the workplace. So there was a lot of layoffs in 2022 at the end of it, and I was lucky enough not to get laid off after the first Ofsted inspection, as the place I was working at was a learning place, for apprenticeships specifically. And initially, you probably heard me singing its praises back in 2021, 2022 if you watched the deleted videos of me playing Amnesia. This changed not long after. So back into 2022 was when the layoffs happened. It was around the same time that my nana passed as well, so I wasn't in a good place at all at the time. I was very upset, and everything that was going on made it worse. Just say that. So I decided to take a few days off, and then when I came back I found out about the layoffs. I didn't realise that I'd been kept on. I thought like something was going to happen, and I thought like everyone else had been given a choice about whether to stay or to go, as I had. And that's when I found out about the layoffs from someone else, and that like they never got the choice to stay. And then at this point as well, my apprenticeship had been terminated, and then it was reinstated again about a week after, but I hadn't been really told about that. I had to ask, and they said, "Oh, we're sorry about not we thought we made it clear and stuff." And I was just like, in myself, it wasn't clear. I had no idea that I was still on my apprenticeship and I would still be full-time after being told that I was going to be part-time. So that was the beginning of when things started to get a little bit hectic. And then around Christmas time, it started getting a bit hectic as well, with a lot of things that needed sorting out, and I struggled a bit with it, and then was told that about a course that we were doing, and around that time, because I was a bit of a workaholic and I put a lot of pressure on myself, as well as being put a lot of pressure on me by the company I was working for at the time. So I couldn't do what they asked me to do when I was off. See, Salem actually sleeps on that bit of the bed normally, but didn't for some reason the previous night. So I basically, it's kind of funny, there's happy music playing and what I'm talking about is not very happy, and it still brings me a lot of anxiety. So what wound up happening was that I didn't get any work done, and instead wound up really unwell, which lasted over a week, and I couldn't come in on the time that I was supposed to once the holiday had been over, because I wasn't well. So because of that, and because of the strain I put myself through, I think the stress made it worse. So I wound up just trying to get better, and my heart rate and my blood pressure, for someone who was 22 at the time, no, 23, sorry, because it was last year, it shouldn't have been as high as it was. so I spent most of the time getting better. That was an awful time of year. And then once I got better, I went back to work and I didn't stop. And I became very stressed, I became very burned out, and I never stopped until the second Ofsted. And I realised during that part about how bad the workplace was on my mental health, because of what I now realise was a lot of gaslighting from one of the bosses, of pushing the blame for things that were completely out of my control, pushing it onto me, and pushing a narrative that wasn't completely true. Even though, like, I stopped because of how much it being pressed and how much it became, oh, this is how it is, this is what's actually going on, it's your fault. I wound up believing it, and it wasn't until Ofsted where they turned around and said that everything that had happened wasn't okay, and me being blamed as an apprentice for things being my fault when it's management's fault wasn't okay. It made me feel very validated in comparison to how I'd felt through a lot of my apprenticeship with this company. And because of what I'd been through, when they eventually let me go in July last year, I chose not to go back when they asked me to come back, citing university as an excuse, but in reality what really was that I didn't want to go back to a toxic environment that was really detrimental to my mental health. And then also deciding not to complete my apprenticeship with them, and moved on to university to get my teaching degree, which I now have. I actually achieved this. After struggling with not achieving anything for so long. So all of that happened last year, and in the last year I've been getting to the point of becoming more productive. The first 3 weeks of the summer holidays I wound up just not doing anything. I just relaxed for the first time in months in the last year, because I've never stopped. And then after those 3 weeks I started feeling a bit more like myself, a little bit more productive, so I started sorting out my room, organising my annual diary, which I've been using for academic years now. So it lasts from September to August, and I've been finding my love of arts and crafts again as well. So I've kind of fallen back in love with little things in life after years, and that includes gaming. I do have my normal obsessions, which is Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing at the moment, so you can probably tell, because I know how much work I've put into this, just drawing everything and then redoing it. And it's been a very long time since I've just felt happy, and I feel like I want to start doing YouTube again as well, not just because of everything, like, or being productive or wanting that, times where I have nothing better to do. It's more, this is something I wanted to do back then, but I felt very burned out. I felt very overworked. I felt like I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to do stuff where, even if it's booked in my annual diary, it's because I want to do it, not because I have to, which is something I've had to come to terms with distinguishing between over the last year or so, which has been a difficult realization, but I think I'm finally at that point. So if I can get this internet sorted, you will probably see a lot more of me doing a lot more content. I may even go into a little bit more detail about the workplace I was in, but at the moment what I've divulged is all I'm willing to talk about on the matter, because I'm still in a place of healing from all that happened there, and as much as there were a lot of good times, as that normally is with things, I can't get over how I was treated, how other employees were treated, and I don't think it's the right time for me to go into what exactly happened there, like from the very beginning to the very end, because it was a mess. And I don't think I can deal with that right now, because even just, I tried to do it on my blog, and it was very distressing for me, and I wound up deleting the draft and instead talking about something else, or reframing it to being a toxic work environment and the signs of it, which was a little bit easier for me to do than to explain everything that happened there, because it means that I was a little bit more removed from it. So I hope to do more videos. I've got a lot of games I want to play. I'm currently looking at a lot of them on my computer that is on my screen, and I will love you and leave you guys for now. But just know that even in the hardest of times, things can get better, and eventually you can take control when you need to. No, nothing's completely out of your control. I just want you guys to remember that, and maybe I want myself to remember it as well, a little bit, because sometimes it's very easy to get in your head and think that you are stuck, when all of a sudden you take a step back and you start thinking about things, you're not completely stuck. There are other ways. Anyway, that's the end of my video. I hope you like my farm in its second year. I hope to sort this internet out soon so that I can actually play whilst I just chat a load of rubbish. But until then, I shall leave you guys.